Let us continue. Okay, let us continue, children. Sahib left his home long ago. Please underline. Now, what is the author saying? Author is saying that every morning he comes across this boy named Sahib. And what activity is Sahib involved in? Scrounging the garbage for gold. Please underline this. Children, garbage has been compared to gold. Isn't this ironical? Why is it ironical? Garbage has been associated with gold. Gold, something that is very precious. Whatever I am writing, keep writing. If you are attentive during my lectures, you will not need the help of any other help book or guidebook. Garbage has been associated with gold. Gold, that is something very valuable or precious. So why do you think garbage, which is of no use, which we discard in the dump yard, has been compared to gold? And try to understand the context. Try to understand the context, children. What about others? Others don't want to try. Parampreet, yes? I mean, over here, this garbage, we people who belong to the rich family, what are they doing? They are discarding the articles and throwing it in the garbage. For us, it is useless. But those discarded items are which are considered as trash, is being collected by these rag pickers. They are selling it in the trash market and earning money. So for us, it might be garbage or trash, but for the rag pickers, it is a source of income, and hence it is a very valuable item. Though it is a discarded item in our eyes, but for the rag pickers, it is very, very valuable. Got it? Because it is earning them money. So for them, it is gold. So hence the statement written over here, Sahib every morning scrounges gold in the garbage dumps of my neighborhood. Sahib left his home long ago, set amidst the green fields of Dhaka. Please underline. So he is a Bangladeshi migrant, children. What do you mean by a migrant? Who has moved from his original country, that is Bangladesh, over here to India. Okay, so he is a Bangladeshi migrant. Set amidst the green fields of Dhaka, his home is not even a distant memory. There were many storms that swept away their fields and homes. His mother tells him that's why they left, looking for gold in the big city where he now lives. Please underline, very, very important. And a 2-marker question can be framed over here. Why did Sahib leave his country Dhaka, his country Bangladesh? Why did Sahib leave his country Bangladesh? So the answer is already given over here. He does not even remember anything about Dhaka. Why? Because he must have been very young when his parents moved away from there. There was a natural calamity that had hit Dhaka. There were storms and there was flood which ruined and destroyed their standing crops and their fields. Now they had to earn money. So what did they do? They moved away. They left their original country and moved to India. That's why they left, looking for gold in the big city where he now lives. So he thought, or his family must have thought, that there are better prospects if we move to India. I have nothing else to do, he mutters, looking away. Go to school, I say glibly, realizing immediately how hollow the advice must sound. Please underline again, very, very important. I have nothing else to do. Now, the author, he strikes a conversation with this rag picker named Sahib. And what does he say? What does the rag picker tell this author? That I have nothing else to do. I collect trash and sell it in the market. After that I am free the whole day. I have nothing else to do. So what suggestion is the author giving? Why don't you go to school? I say glibly. Glibly means readily. As if the answer was a ready-made answer given. It was a kind of a hollow suggestion. Please write down. Hollow suggestion. Hollow advice. What does he say? That go to school. It was a hollow suggestion given by the author. Children, what do you mean by a hollow advice or hollow suggestion?
Which has no meaning and which can't.
It was meaningless. Why? Why was it a meaningless advice? He had to say something. So this is a kind of a universal answer. Go to school. Why are you wasting your time? Even when we see children begging on the streets, promptly, without thinking, we give them an answer. Why don't you go to school? Government has made free education and they even give you meals. Why don't you go to school? Least realizing that it is not so easy to take admission in the schools. You need an identity card. You need to be a resident of the country. And over here, he was a migrant who has come from a different country. So, the author, he did not realize these bitter realities. And promptly, readily, glibly, he gives a suggestion, which is a hollow suggestion, that go to school. This is a universal answer we have for such children. Okay? How hollow the advice must have sound. Another word for glibly is thoughtlessly. Do you think he was thoughtful towards the boy? No. It was a thoughtless answer that he gave. There is no school in my neighborhood. When they build one, I will go. Now, a child will associate school with what? Fun and frolic, joy and laughter. Isn't it? Out very innocently, what does Sahib say? There is no school in my neighborhood. If they build a school, I will definitely go there. If I start a school, will you come? I ask, half joking. Yes, he says, smiling broadly. Again, a hollow statement made by the author. That if I erect a school, if I build a school, will you come? He's saying, definitely I will come. Then let's see what happens. A few days later, I see him running up to me. Is your school ready? See, again, so innocently the boy is asking. Don't you think these are innocent questions? Do you think he must have suspected that time, the author, that he is just saying all these statements? Do you think he must have suspected him? No, out of innocence, he had trusted the author. Because it could be that nobody has entered into any kind of conversation with him. So if the author was talking to him, it was a very big thing for a boy like Sahib. Okay, so he is saying that, is your school ready? It takes longer to build a school. Now, the author is feeling a little embarrassed that I had given such a hollow statement to this boy and he took me on my face value. Face value means he trusted me on my face. And today he is here to ask me the question. So he must have felt embarrassed. And what answer is he giving out of embarrassment? It takes longer to build a school. I say embarrassed at having made a promise that was not meant to be. Please underline, he had made a promise which he had no intentions to fulfill. Do you think he will build a school for children like these rag pickers? Of course not. It was again a hollow statement that he made. But promises like mine abound in every corner of this bleak world. What do you mean by this? Such hollow promises, such false promises, such false hopes are given every now and then to children, vulnerable, weak and innocent children like Sahib. So this is an everyday affair that is happening. Got it? Any doubt? What do you mean by this? Abound in every corner of this bleak world. Such children are confined only to India, or they are found in all the developing countries maybe. And their situation is nearly same in all the developing nations. Okay? So such hollow and false hopes are given to such children every now and then. Okay? After months of knowing him, I asked him his name. Sahib-e-Alam, he announces. He does not know what it means. If he knew its meaning, Lord of the universe, he would have had a hard time believing it. Unaware of what his name represents, he roams the streets with his friends. So what is the name of this boy? Sahib-e-Alam. And what does it mean? Lord of the universe. So don't you think this is again an ironical name? He is a rag picker and his name is Lord of the universe, the King of the universe. So his name is ironical. So the author is saying, if he realizes the meaning of his name, he will understand that my name also has a hollow meaning. I have no existence. I have no entity. I am a kind of a non-entity with no identity surviving. And my name, Sahib-e-Alam, how strange. It will be something unbelievable for him. And he announces. See, children, it's not said written over here, he says. It's written, he announces. When you are making an announcement, he's doing it with pride. So with pride, he's announcing his name, Sahib-e-Alam. He does not know what it means. If he knew its meaning, Lord of the universe, he would have had a hard time believing it. Hard time believing it means, for him it would have been unbelievable. Unaware of what his name represents, what does he do? He roams about the streets with his friends, an army of barefoot boys. Please underline, an army of barefoot boys. This is a collective noun used over here, children. So is he alone or with his gang of boys? Gang of boys. And are they wearing good quality footwear? No, barefoot. Who appear in the morning, who appear like the morning birds and disappear at noon. Why do you think they disappear at noon? You know, it's like first come, first serve. If you are early, you will get the trash, the gold. But if you are late, the others will pick it all up. Okay? So you have to leave home very early so that you can collect the quality trash. I am using the word quality trash, and sell it in the market and then end your business for the day. Another reason could be, during the day, the road is made up of coal tar. It must be getting very hot. Have you walked barefoot on the coal tar road? You cannot walk. It is so hot. So they end their work early so that they can leave home early. Over the months, I have come to recognize each one of them. So the entire gang, the group, the author now recognizes. Why aren't you wearing chappals? I ask one. My mother did not bring them down from the shelf, he answers simply. Now there are two reasons given over here for not wearing chappals. One, lame excuses given by the children, and one very valid reason given by the author. So please write down. Two different questions can be framed over here, children. What excuse is given? What excuses are given by the children? What excuses are given by the children for not wearing chappals? So first we are going to read this answer. Okay, let's continue. Why aren't you wearing chappals? I asked one. So what answer reply is one boy giving? My mother did not bring them down from the shelf. I did not have any time to waste or wait for my mother to bring them down, and I ran away from home. Even if she did, he will throw them away, adds another. So another boy is saying, oh, even if the mother would have given him the chappals, he wouldn't have worn it. He would have thrown it away. He enjoys staying barefoot. So this is another reason another boy is giving. When I is wearing shoes that do not match. And this boy who gave a reply, he is wearing shoes which are not matching. Not matching means two different kinds of shoes. Yes. When I comment on it, he shuffles his feet and says nothing. So when some commentary is given on it, out of embarrassment, what is the boy doing? Because he's wearing two different kinds of shoes. Maybe the author must have asked, oh, from where did you get these shoes? So he's feeling a little embarrassed because there are two different shoes. I want shoes, says a third boy, who has never owned a pair all his life. Traveling across the country, I have seen children walking barefoot. Now, one child actually does not have any shoes and he desires to wear one. Now, what is the author saying? That I have traveled across the country and I have seen many children walking barefoot. Please underline. Now, this is the author's reason. What does he say? In cities, on village roads, it is not the lack of money but a tradition to stay barefoot in is one explanation. Children in the villages and in the countryside, you must have seen people, even when they have money to buy shoes and other basic amenities of life, they still prefer staying barefoot, isn't it? Why? It is a custom, it is a culture. Nowadays also, if you will go towards the village side or the countryside, you will see people walking barefoot. It is rooted in their culture, it is part of their tradition. So this is a valid statement made by the author. So if a question comes that what reason does the author give for not wearing shoes, that these children don't wear shoes, this is the point that you will make. I wonder if this is the only excuse to explain away a perpetual state of poverty. Now he's thinking about the excuses. That is it these reasons that these children have laid down which is responsible for their perpetual state of poverty. What do you mean by perpetual state of poverty? A continuous state of poverty, a kind of a vicious circle out of which they can never come out. From which they can never come out, a kind of a vicious circle. ये कर तो दिया था शायद मैंने,
दोबारा
ये देखिए ना, गए नहीं मतलब
क्या बोल रखा है ना,
9 to 12 are requested to give list of references 5 हाँ तो ये तो रहा रेड में किया था इसलिए
ना खुद से करवा रही हूँ.
Okay, I remember a story a man from Udupi once told me. Now he is recollecting, the author is recollecting an incident a man had shared with him from Udupi. As a young boy, he would go to school past an old temple where his father was a priest. Now this man's father was a priest at a temple. He would stop briefly at the temple and pray for a pair of shoes. Now the prayer that he would make was that I want a pair of shoes. 30 years later, I visited his town and the temple, which was now drowned in an air of desolation. Please underline, which was drowned in an air of desolation. What does it mean? The place seemed to be abandoned. No human settlements around, okay? Kind of abandoned place. So nobody often visited that temple now. It was a kind of an abandoned place with no human settlements around. And when has this happened? 30 years later. A young boy, okay, instead in the backyard where lived the new priest, there were red and white plastic chairs. Now there is seating arrangement, provision for seating. And what is placed? Chairs. What does it mean? A sign of development has taken place. A young boy dressed in a grey uniform, wearing socks and shoes, arrived panting and threw his school bag on a folding bed. Now this is again sign of development that has taken place. A young boy, he is wearing school dress, he is wearing shoes, he is wearing a grey uniform, and also he is carrying a school bag. Looking at the boy, I remembered the prayer another boy had made to the goddess 30 years ago. What was that prayer? That I want to wear shoes. And this boy is well dressed, smartly dressed in complete school uniform. That means somehow that prayer has come true. Looking at the boy, I remembered the prayer another boy had made to the goddess when he had finally got a pair of shoes. Let me never lose them. So when he got those pair of shoes, what did he pray to goddess? Now that I have got these shoes, may I never lose it. So 30 years ago this prayer was made, and maybe God has granted that prayer, and the generations of children who are coming next, they all have got shoes to wear. Young boys like the son of the priest now wore shoes, but many others like the rag pickers in my neighborhood remain shoeless. What do you mean by this? The rag pickers, are they wearing shoes? This is the present time, but they are still not wearing shoes. My acquaintance with the barefoot rag pickers leads me to Simapuri. Please underline. Where does Sahib live with his friends? Where do all these boys come from? From a place called Simapuri. Very important paragraph. This whole paragraph is very, very important. A place on the periphery of Delhi, keep underlining, a place on the periphery of Delhi, yet miles away from it metaphorically. Periphery means on the outskirts of Delhi. Okay? Yet it does not enjoy the glamour and glitter of a developed metropolitan city. Okay? Simapuri is a slum. Okay? They don't even enjoy the basic amenities. There is hand to mouth existence. People don't have their identity. They are settled in illegal colonies. Okay? With no identity. Why? Because they are Bangladeshi migrants. Got it? How will they get an identity over here? So this statement, Simapuri, a place, although it is situated on the outskirts of Delhi, still it is miles away from it metaphorically. What do you mean by it? Metaphorically means, one is literal meaning, one is metaphorical meaning.
Though it's on outskirts, but it's far from Delhi, the central Delhi.
From the development. Touched yet untouched by the glitter, glamour, development and basic amenities that a metropolitan has to offer to its people. Got it? Though it is situated and touching Delhi, yet it is miles away from it. It over here refers to the glamour, the glitter, the basic amenities. What are the basic amenities? Water, good sewage system, drainage system, medical facilities, transportation, grocery shops around, untouched by all this development and basic amenities. Got it? Very, very important line of the paragraph. Those who live here are squatterers who came from Bangladesh back in 1971. So I am telling you that these are Bangladeshi migrants who have settled in illegal colonies. Squatterers means spread around. Sahib's family is among them. Simapuri was then a wilderness. Wilderness means an empty, desolate place. It still is, but it is no longer empty. Why? Who have settled over here? These illegal colonies have come up, and these Bangladeshi immigrants are there, migrants are there. In structures of mud, what is their house like? Kacha or pakka? Kacha houses. It is made up of mud with roofs of tin and tarpaulin. Tarpaulin is a waterproof canvas, children. They have to save themselves somehow, right? So these are makeshift huts. Devoid of sewage. Devoid means no provision of good sewage system, drainage or running water. Running water means pure, clean drinking water. Live 10,000 rag pickers. They have lived here for more than 30 years without an identity, without permits, but with ration cards that get their names on voters' lists. Children, these Bangladeshi migrants, though they don't have an Aadhaar card, but they have their names registered on ration cards. And you know, ration cards are identified as identity cards. Have you heard of this term? You must have definitely heard of this term, vote bank. What do you mean by it? Vote bank? If I say that these migrants, they constitute the vote bank, am I right in saying it? Yes. What do you mean by vote banks? How do they get ration cards? Ration card means what? Supply of ration, that is wheat, rice, sugar, at around 2 rupees per kilo, 3 rupees per kilo, very, very cheaply available. Okay? Who will promise them and who will give them this? The ruling party in that area. Okay? So, the ruling party of that area, they get their names registered in the voters ID also with the help of these ration cards. Of course, when this ruling government is doing so much for these Bangladeshi migrants, won't they be loyal to them and vote for them? So they constitute the vote bank. So it's like you come, you help me, in turn we will help you. Clear? So they constitute the vote bank. Till what time is your class? 9 o'clock, no? If at the end of, okay, so see it's written over here, without permits but with ration cards that get their names on voters lists and enable them to buy grain. Food is more important for survival than an identity. Please underline. Food is more important. So what do they hold on to? Food. Whoever is providing them food, they will be loyal to them. Oh yes, we will vote for you. What's harm? Provide us with food. If at the end of the day, again please underline, if at the end of the day we can feed our families and go to bed without an aching stomach, we would rather live here than in the fields that gave us no grain. What has happened to their fields and their land in Bangladesh? All destroyed. Okay? So what is he saying? That I would like to come to a place. Those people are saying that we would like to settle in a place which offers us food, which offers us kind of employment. What kind of employment over here? Working as rag pickers. Okay? So we would not wish to go back to Bangladesh ever. We are happy here because this place is providing us with food. For them, food is the most important. They don't think of saving for the future. They are living in the present and they are thinking of the time being, for the time being. Okay? Okay. If at the end of the day we can feed our families and go to bed without an aching stomach, we would rather live here than in the fields that gave us no grain. Say a group of women in tattered saris. Tattered means in rags. The sari was in rags. When I asked them why they left their beautiful land of green fields and rivers, wherever they find food, they pitch their tents that become transit homes. Transit means moving homes. So they don't have any fixed place to stay. Children grow up in them, becoming partners in survival. What do you understand by partners in survival? Even they are earning for the family. And survival in Simapuri means rag picking. Through the years, it has acquired the proportions of fine art. Children, fine art means what? A skill. You know, they have to be selective. What trash they are collecting. Maybe the ugliest looking trash can fetch them a good money in the junk market. So they have to be very skillful. They must possess that art and that eye to search. Okay? So this is an art. Garbage to them is gold. Please underline, very precious. Garbage, no, not now. Garbage for them is gold, means very, very precious. It is their daily bread, a roof over their heads, even if it is a leaking roof. But for a child, it is even more. Children, gold over here has two different meanings. One for the adults and one for the children. For the adults, we have just read, it is a means of survival, selling which they can earn money. But for children, it has a different meaning. What is it? Let's read on the next page. I sometimes find a rupee, even a 10 rupee note. Children, sometimes, scrounging through the garbage, these rag pickers, they come across a 10 rupee note or they come across a 2 rupee coin. And don't you think under the scorching heat of the sun, that 2 rupee coin will glitter? Yes, they will glitter. But I told you, you can go but a little later. I'll leave you in a while, then you can do it. Okay, so that 1 or 2 rupee coin will glitter as if it's a gold. Children, what do you think? Are these children, these rag pickers who are children, who are tiny tots, are they so responsible that they will take that 10 rupee note or that 2 rupee coin and give it obediently to their parents?
No.
Or maybe they can run to a nearby ice cream trolley and buy something for themselves, right? Why? After all, they are children. They have that desire like a child. That desire has not died inside them. It is still alive. It is still there. So for these children, garbage has a different meaning also. They are not so responsible like their parents. They treat themselves with that 10 rupee note or the coin that they have found in the garbage. Got it? So garbage for adults have a different meaning and for the children it has an entirely different meaning. Clear? Okay, write down a few questions